It's Friday the 13th in 2020. Boy, I picked the wrong year to quit drinking. Whew! Darlings, you've tuned in to New Job. Who dis? Well, hello and happy Friday, one and all. Thank you all for tuning in. This is New Job Who Dis, episode 34, and I am your delightful, delicious, and of course, gorgeous host, Halston Boddy, at your service. Here we are, darlings. Episode 34. We've done this for at least 17 weeks, and I know I've taken some breaks, so hello again. Welcome. We're glad you're here. You have joined us. Oh, we are at least waist deep, if not getting up to belly deep, in a long journey of jobs, careers, choices, dreams, failures, and obstacles to get over in this life that I'm living. And how did we get here? How did it become Halston Boddy? How did we end up here on a Friday the 13th in 2020? Woo! What a journey. To my 11 listeners, I'm so glad you're back. Welcome back. We're here again, darlings. Happy Friday. To anybody who is just walking in the door, first day on the job, well, hello. Here's your employment package. You have 33 hours of programming to get through, and what a journey we are on. I am I'm not in the best of moods. I will be honest. I am an honest human being with that type of thing. Feelings, let's get it out there. I'm not in a great mood. There's a lot of factors going into that. Maybe that's a precursor going into this episode, because I am not in a good place at this point where we are at. To catch you up quickly, it is 2008 going into 2009, and I'm lost in the sauce. I am not sure what I want to do with my life at this point. I have failed on several fronts, and I am sort of mentally just disconnected at this point. I have given up a try of being a stand-up comic. I have failed in being a lifer in the utility and phone company. I have decided that I am not really meant or fit any longer to work under a startup weird sort of, I don't want to work for my friends who are my bosses, but they're jerks now, and I'm kind of just disillusioned with the Monday through Friday jam. I'm not into it right now. It's not feeling good. I just lose a game show. I'm on a reality show, and that is the highest of highs, ladies and gentlemen, because when you are given 3 weeks of vacation in Tokyo, Japan on ABC's dime, while it absolutely changed my perspective on life and what I am valuing around me, what I'm valuing in people, what is life, right? I'm in Tokyo, Japan for 3 years in 2000, or 3 weeks in 2008. Yes, I did not win the game show. I survived a Japanese game show. The question always comes back, did you survive? I did not survive, but I'm bumped, right? I didn't survive. But I wasn't looking at game shows as a career. So it's not like, oh man, my life of jumping into foam and weird objects and being blindfolded and doing random things and running on treadmills in Japan was not a career choice. Nor was it wasn't in a playbook. I wasn't like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do for the rest of forever. I'm ready. My career has launched. So I'm lost in Los Angeles. Not sure what I want to do. I'm dabbling. I'm doing a lot of dabble. I'm dabbling in house cleaning. I'm dabbling into extended auto warranty sales. That didn't last very long. I'm learning a lot of quick lessons about myself. The hustle game is very strong still. I'm still trying to make money, right? Because that's the end of the game. You gotta pay the bills, right? Human responsibility has not escaped me at this point. I'm not, well, I don't care, and I'm just gonna wander the desert and look for Jesus. That's not what we're talking about. I'm not that lost. I do realize that I have a partner at home who is now, it's becoming a disintegrating relationship. That is also failing me. So we're wandering. I'm doing this house cleaning thing. That's drying up, and I see the end of the road because at the end of the day, I'm not seeing longevity in this. This is not a retirement plan. This is not a, boy, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life because I'm super happy doing it. I'm doing it. I'm cleaning people's houses under the table for cash because I didn't have a direction. I didn't know what I wanted to do or be or what. I didn't go, oh, well, now all that's over. I can finally clear my plate for this lovely adventure of doing this job that I've always wanted. I didn't know what I wanted. I was literally just lost and wandering, trying to go, I don't know what I want to do. I was scraping through ads on Craigslist looking for anything. I did a couple of production assistant gigs for some friends who had some indie movies, and that's where I met my future husband. That's a story to be told. But it wasn't like, this is what I want to do with the rest of my life. I want to be a production assistant. And I was doing these cleaning gigs, but that was just hustle money. So I wasn't looking at that as, yes, this is what I would do for the rest of my life. I can't wait to start my official and licensed cleaning business. That's not, not where we're at. We're looking for money. Money. It's where we're at. And it's 2008, so we know that the market's crashed and everybody crashed and money is crashed and things are not looking cute. And I'm not feeling cute. I'm stress eating. I'm just not feeling myself. I'm in a lifeless relationship. At the end of the day, we weren't enemies, but we definitely were not lovers. And that's how the eventual breakup pretty much ended, was just like, hey man, we make better friends than we do romantic relationship lovers, husband material. We're just buds who just live in the same apartment at this point. We're living our own lives. We just grown apart at this point. So can you imagine why I'm not in a good mood in 2008 going into 2009? Honestly, thinking about doing this podcast tonight, I was wavering because I was just like, oh, this is going to put me in a mood, and just thinking about where I was in life. Heavy. It was just rough. The seas were rough because the money was not flowing. So what's a boy to do, right? What am I going to do? Got to find something. Chasing down things. I remember trying to do this canvassing job that was, it was weird because I didn't know what I was canvassing really for, and that lasted like 2 days. Again, lost. I don't know what I'm doing in life. Help me. It was rough. And again, I'm also dealing with this psychology moment of, post game show downer, post things, losing the election in 2008 to, the No on Prop 8 campaign I worked at, this snowball of just big L's was finally affecting me. I went to therapy. I got free therapy through the LGBTQ center here, the Gay and Lesbian Center at Hollywood and Highland. I started to suss out my thoughts. What am I doing? What am I doing with my life? Where am I at? I don't know what I want. I don't know what I'm living for. It's just a weird place to be. And I still wasn't sure what I was doing. I just needed to, essentially suss out my feelings about why I was not getting where I wanted to be, mixed with lack of direction. And, the therapy helped. It definitely helped me cleanse my brain a bit. I ran into a new friend as well, or a couple friends. I mean, I was, shuffling through the deck of life and, collecting new friends and losing some other ones and kind of trying to, I wasn't actively trying to scrape the bear community away from me. I still had a lot of gay bear friends and I was still hanging around with a lot of gay bear friends. So I was sort of still in the life that I was in, but I didn't know where to take it. I wasn't relying on anybody or anything to get me to the next place. I didn't have any favors to call in. I was scraping by. Luckily, somehow, after I was drying up on the gigs, the comedy thing wasn't there anymore. I wasn't really finding work. But I did find in July of that year, 2000, we're coming into 2009 now. And again, the bear comedy thing is dead. If not, I think I had like one more gig somewhere in the pocket. I think it was I talked about that before, but I had to look back at my timeline because now we're getting into Facebook land. By the way, we can complain about Facebook all day. We can have a whole 34 podcasts about Facebook or social media. But at the end of the day, this is where I'm able to go back and go, oh, right, that's when that was. Oh, right, that's when that happened. Oh, right. Right? So, knock on wood, Facebook is still here to look back in my memories and remember these are the dates that those things happened. And realistically, folks, I'm working with a mildly loose timeline. Most of these dates and times are pretty accurate, but, I want to call this my first draft to my book. Realistically, if I'm doing this podcast for one thing and one thing only, outside the idea that I'm obviously getting a lot out of my head, and this is almost therapy for me, it's kept me moving through these COVID times and kept me going on some sort of humanistic, realistic schedule to not drive myself crazy with nothing to do. Whew! It's helped me realize where I was and where, going back and just, oh God, this is what I did and when I did it. And we're going to write a book about it. And we're going to share these conversations in more detail because I've had to go back and piece it all together again and try to remember where was my head and where was I at. So thank you for listening to, I know this could be a much more polished podcast, but my 11 listeners know you're on the journey. You're here. You're in it to win it. So I find a job because I have to, right? Scrappy old me, got to find some work. And we found it. I got to apply and landed a job, and I think this was late July. It started in August of 2009, and I worked for a Halloween store. Oh yeah, oh boy, this was an adventure. And ironically enough, the place that I worked at was called Halloween Adventures. Oh yeah, no, it wasn't one of those Spirit. Everyone talks about Spirit because that's the big one. But they're in Southern California, there's all these offshoots. And one of them was Halloween Adventures. Now, I was still ingrained with corporate thought. I was still ingrained with benefits and official schedules and organization and responsibility and caring a lot about where I work and just having that still in me to make sure that I'm doing my job and making sure it's looking good and feeling good and we're doing the right thing. And this is, again, just where my training, my mental training has just got me stuck on this, where I'm making sure I'm crossing my T's and dotting my I's and being a responsible human being. Now you think to yourself, well, you're not, there's no nobility in that. It's just normal thing. But listen, when you understand what I'm about to go through, working for a temporary Halloween store, you start to question who and where and why you're working for who you're working with. Follow along. Okay, so I get hired by this place. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. I mean, I just walked in, brought in a resume, filled out an application, gave it to the manager. The manager said, oh, he looked it over and was like, wow, you have a lot of experience. You have retail. Great. He almost looked like enthused that I was applying. I mean, I must have stuck out amongst hundreds of applicants because he was like, oh my God, I got somebody. Oh, I need you. Please, responsibility and adult. I need an adult in the room. That's kind of what it felt like. I'm trying to remember the manager's name as I'm talking here too, because it was just a short, chunky Latino guy. He was very nice guy. He was a little younger than me. It wasn't like some old manager or something like that. It was just a young cat trying to do Halloween stuff. Great. He hires me, right? It was almost like a day. He just had to talk to the guys or the girls above. I don't know who he talked to. He talked to somebody in management in another part of town where their home base was. And I think their home base was in Tarzana, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, he just had to look it over, talk it over, and then they gave me a call right away. Now, here was the weird thing. I didn't realize the reason why they're bringing me in so fast is because they were like, oh, we need somebody to fill this spot quickly, immediately, because we don't have enough good candidates. And it felt rushed because they felt like they needed another adult in the room. Well, here I am, right? Here I am. I'm here to work. Right? And I've done Christmas temporary before. That's how I got my job at Musicland. That's how I worked. I know I worked it at Best Buy. I worked temporary Christmas. I mean, I didn't start temporary Christmas, but I worked through it and I understand how it all works. It's temporary, right? This isn't forever. And the fact that they just set the place up in like 2 days and just, this is what we got, kids, right? This is what we're getting. It was easy. Here's how it became not easy really fast. The Wi-Fi and the internet connection that they had in this building. Now, let me tell you where it was first. It was on the corner of, I want to say it was Olive and San Fernando Road. It was right around that. It was in the corner. It was at the Circuit City in Burbank. The Circuit City that closed down. It was an empty corner building, still had the round neon sign that they just covered with Halloween Adventures. They just got a big enough banner to cover this old neon sign that had just been exposed. It was an old Circuit City. It was just the workings. The word Circuit City didn't exist on it, but you knew that was an old Circuit City. Just by the shape of the building and the round former symbol on it. And everybody just knew it was on that corner. Great. This dirty old building, half of it was, not being used. We only used it for as many walls as they built with, grates and, wire. It was that like white wire fencing that they used. And they just built all these walls to put product on and fill the space as best as they could. And they filled it with racks for hats and accessories and all the things that Halloween stores normally have. Great. Easy job to an extent. It was Halloween, right? I'm a creative human being. People are definitely going to come in and go, I need ideas for a Halloween costume. Now, we're not Spirit. We're not the Rob Zombie Halloween store that lives in Burbank that's there 24/7, 365. Okay, it's not 24 hours, but it's there 365 days a year and it's open year round and they constantly get stock and they have more professional stuff. This is like a cash grab for Halloween. This is, let's get in. It's like the equivalent of those Christmas stores that pop up that just are like all holidays, all the wreaths and ornaments and whatever Christmas crap you can get, right? That's what this is. And we were second. We were not a big, player in the market. Halloween Adventures, right? People confused us for Spirit. So we didn't have a lot of stuff. We had other locations, right? We had a couple other locations around the LA area, right? It wasn't just this one pop-up. There was 4 or 5, I believe. Great, right? So it was what it was, right? I'm a creative human being working in a Halloween store, trying to help people out, making costumes, selling costumes, getting them to where they need to go. Help it out. Hey, what do you need? Oh, I need this. We have that. No, we don't have sailor costumes. Yes, we have that. No, we don't have this. I have some ideas for makeup, but I don't know what to really do. Now, the fun part was I was working with a bunch of makeup artists. These were people who had worked in Hollywood, wanted to work in Hollywood, wanted to work on horror movies. They had a little bit of a resume. In fact, I know that I worked with a girl who ended up becoming a contestant on Face Off. Was that on FX or IFC? I can't remember what I think it was FX. Yeah, I worked with some makeup folks who were pros and knew how to do things other than crappy spirit gum and, whatever greasy makeup cheap makeup kits that you get at Halloween stores. They knew a little bit more than I did, way more than I did. Don't even demean them. I just knew sort of basic makeup, but nothing. I had more costume ideas and accessory ideas and how to DIY yourself into a Halloween costume, or how to make a store-bought costume even better, that kind of thing. But I was not a makeup person. I had ideas. I'm working this store, and the register itself is a piece of garbage. Right, the cash register machine is just hot trash. It's not great. It's not. They have to keep it connected to the internet so they can keep up on sales and they can look up sales stuff. But it almost felt like I was working on a Circuit City computer. It was just this old clunky thing. Sometimes it had problems. It wasn't barcode scanned. We had to manually do things. It was weird. It was really weird. I think they had scanners on it, but again, nothing was plugged in we have inventory on this. It was just all, pricing and numbers, and it was just weird. For a temporary place that had all year long to sort this out, the way they had the register system set up was just clanky and janky and just not right. And the internet would go off every once in a while, so you'd be in the middle of a transaction and you'd be like, hold on, the register's up. Let me try and ring you up over here. God. And it was the credit card machines. That's where the problem really lied, was the credit card machines would get stuck because the internet was flaky in that area. And it's not like they paid for a screaming internet, so yeah, it was weird. It was just not a smooth customer experience at the register. I definitely remember that. Now, I definitely remember we didn't have lines around the corner, lines around the block. So it wasn't like that was a big struggle of oh man, we're so busy. We have so many people on the register. Hurry up. We shot ourselves in the foot with crappy registers. That's really what it came down to. People did the normal thing. Humans are trash, so of course they're gonna do things and steal things and try on costumes, even though your signs in the store say, do not try these things on. Packaged costumes are packaged for a reason, darlings. You have to know your sizes before you go in. But of course, people are lazy and humans are trash, and they're not going to do all the prep work to make sure that they know this costume is going to fit them right. And they're not paying cheap prices for these things either. 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 bucks for a 2, 3, 4-piece costume that comes in a bag. I can't blame for people wanting to try these on and try things on to make sure they fit. But at the end of the day, it was just why are you ruining the integrity of all these costume pieces that are in bags? Stop it! Some days, especially during August and absolutely in September, we didn't have enough staff to stand around and watch people. So, of course, people were sneaking, pieces onto themselves or taking pieces out of costume bags and stealing them or whatever. I think the most tried on costume was the Aphrodite Greek goddess costumes. And the reason I know this is because those costumes were the most messed up in their bags. You could tell people who didn't know how to refold them and put them in properly. But then also there was a growing amount of finger dirt and makeup on the costume zipper and the collars, because these girls would come in and try these things on and not realize they're leaving foundation marks on them. And I'm like, ugh. I was getting agitated. It was getting annoying because, again, my brain was integral. Like I was like wanting to like care about the product. I wanted to make sure that we had good product because I believed in it. I believed in Halloween. I believed in dress up. And I wanted this company to make some money during Halloween. So, of course, I was like frustrated that these, ragtag costume pieces and these, whatever these bagged costume places were just like, why is our stock getting messed up? But at the end of the day, it didn't matter. It was a temporary Halloween shop. I mean, realistically, early on, I figured it out that, I'm only going to really be working here until like November 5th at the latest, like 1 week after, to accept any sort of returns that were not used for whatever money we may or may not give back, right? It was just this 2-month gig. It was like mid-August, it was 2.5, mid-August till the first week of November. So it wasn't there. I bought into it way too hard, thinking, man, this is a great job and I better do a good job at it. I better be really smart about it. I was getting frustrated with other employees that we were temporarily hiring in just to fill the gaps, not realizing that they didn't care. They didn't care at all. They're there just for a quick money grab during the holidays while they hop, skipped, and jumped during their job career. And I was too much of a career dude to like not have that affect me. Oh, these employees, these people, why are they not showing up? Wow, why is this a problem? Wow. I should have just not cared, but I cared too much. Oh, it was rough. The wigs at this Halloween store were the biggest points of contention. We definitely, for hygienic purposes alone, didn't want people putting on the wigs. They're in sealed bags for a reason. They were displayed on a wall, right next to, like it was, if I'm standing at the front register, they were right there to the right, this, wall of wigs, so we can keep an eye on people. Don't put on the wigs. Please do not put on the wigs. We don't want you putting on the wigs. If you put them on, we will make you buy them. Yeah, we were trying to be strict and threatening with, you got to buy these wigs if you take them out of the package and put them on. Because of hygiene. All true, but if you're not just standing there monitoring, or you don't have a camera, or it's literally not right in front of everybody's view, people are going to do it anyway, of course. I got bold enough to like get some fluorescent paper and print out signs that literally every 2 feet said, do not open wigs. We will make you purchase them. You open it, you buy it. Do not. It was like big, bold letters, and every fluorescent orange, pink, green, every color of the rainbow was fluorescent. Do not open these wigs. People listen? People care? No, of course not. They're going to try to open those wig bags anyway. I had one of the best Snatcher Wig moments. I was like standing there, and these two girls were over in the wig area, and I'm standing at the front counter watching them. I don't know if they just didn't know that I was not watching them or I was watching. I didn't know what they thought. And we are just coming around, just getting to the point of selfies and camera phones. And let me take a quick picture of you in this wig moments with your cell phone. 2009, folks. Ooh, what? 11 years ago. People are just doing this and sort of getting used to this and trying to be funny with their camera phones. The one girl who's trying to put on the wig, her back is to me. The girl who is taking the photo, she is facing me, but she's on an angle. And I could hear the crinkling. I could hear it. Crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. I was like, they're opening a wig. I know it. And I'd kind of bend forward and look, and I, sure enough, put on the wig. I waltz right over there. Get right behind the girl just as she is taking pictures. And I straight up pulled that wig straight off her head and said, "Do you know how to read?" Oh, she was mad. Oh, how dare you? How dare me? There are signs in front. Oh, are you serious? Right in front of the signs. Right in front of me. What? What is your major malfunction? What is wrong with you? Oh, well, I'm not going to shop here. Okay, don't. You weren't going to shop anyway. You were just taking cute photos with your not purchased wig. I didn't make her buy it, but boy, did I want to. Oh, I was so angry. This was my daily frustration. Also, we're in a temporary store. We had people coming in to try and complain about the adult type costumes that were suggestive and clearly centered around boobs. You know what I mean? Like people, this should be hidden behind a wall. The kids and the children and the people. Oh my gosh, we have 2 weeks till Halloween. You're now complaining about this? Of course, we had, racially questionable, Native American costumes. I mean, it was just like, why am I working here? It was money. Had to survive. That's all this was a survival job. Now, I was hired in as an assistant manager. Made more money, not a lot. Got more hours, 30 to 35 at the most, maybe. Right, no benefits. It was just a job. And the more and more, I was basically buying my time just continually organizing and cleaning the place. Because obviously every day you're selling stuff and obviously everything is getting moved around because people are throwing it in piles and taking the hat off in the different place they didn't find it and putting it over here. And then, of course, trying to stock the place with a fresh shipment every couple weeks, because they had stuff in this big storage warehouse that they were like, oh, you need more of this. Here's some more stuff. Great. So that was like buying my time. I was just asking people questions, trying to help them be creative, ringing people up. Not a lot of customer problems as far as like returns or anything. I of course, after it was all over, I had one guy try to return the filthiest, most like I fell into a puddle drunk costume that he tried to stuff into the bag thinking I wasn't going to open the costume bag that clearly was opened and clearly the costume was used. And he tried to argue really hard, like, yeah, I didn't use it. I'm like, well, we did not sell this to you like this. And I can't give you any money back on it. And you are welcome to speak to corporate at this phone number. They're in Tarzana. By all means. Because, again, I didn't care. It wasn't like, oh, boy, thanks for your work here at the Halloween store. I'm so glad we can carry you over into a lifetime and a career of being a circus grifter who's selling Halloween gear every year just to make a quick buck for the year. That is literally, that's what these are. These were like, it was just grifters and just people who just had this stock, and that was their moneymaker every year, was 2.5 months of torturing people with crappy, customer support, and just, we hate it here. We're in this temporary store together. I guess we're doing it. Ugh. There was some weird loose of promise of some sort of bonus that never materialized as well. That was a crock. Oh yeah, if you guys make so much in sales and blah, 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 y'all get some, management gets some sort of cool bonus at the end of this. Yeah, no, that didn't happen. Weird thing enough though, workman's comp moment, and this was amazing for the day. How to get out of work in the most appropriate way possible. I opened the store one day. I had keys, so I opened up the store. Now, this is an old Circuit City electronics store. They have one of those big metal gates that go over the front from, the front windows from the inside. So when you leave for the day, we did this at Musicland too. We had a big roll down gate that you pulled down and locked and made sure it was locked, and you had another key holder with you to make sure you're locking the gate and it's all secured and sealed, because it's high price merchandise in there. Halloween store, we just had to do it because that's what it was. It was just a Halloween store. So we just made sure it was locked properly with this big metal gate. Great. I've worked with these before. This one was a little different though. It had a railing on the floor that essentially you had to roll out the gate onto. Here's how it worked. When you pulled the gate back, you pushed it into the wall. It all folded up like an accordion and you pushed it into the wall. Great. But there was this railing still left on the bottom. So you had to fold that in half from the end. I'm doing the visual here on YouTube. Boom. Right? And then you had to fold that piece up into the wall. It was this big metal, rusty iron gate thing, right? So you rolled that up and you push it in the wall. You close the little door. Great. And then you walk away. Doors are open. When you pull it out, you pull the thing down. Make sure the track is there, and then you pull out the gate. Rolls right into the track. Easy peasy. One lovely morning, I open up, and what I do is I push the gate into the wall, fold the metal bar, push it up into the wall, close the little, there's a little door. It's not like a locked door, but it's this little door. Turn around to go open up or make sure the door is locked. As I turn around, what I don't realize is that the metal track that I just folded up and pushed up into the wall came right back and bonked me right in the back of the skull. Boom! Oh, that one hurt. Oh, bad. And it hurt. It hurt really hard. Boing, right, got hit. But then it cut me. Wherever it hit, however it hit, just wherever it hit, it cut me. And so now, because it's in my skull, or it's part of my head is bleeding profusely. And I'm like, ah! And our bathroom, by the way, is all the way at the back of the store. All the way. From the front of the store all the way to the other end of the store. So I'm running through the store. First of all, the front lobby is tile. So there's all this blood splatter everywhere. And then I run through the store and there's this little drips all the way. I'm running there. Oh my God, my head is bleeding. I can't see how big it is. What? Ah! Get on the phone. Luckily I had a cell phone. I call the manager. I'm like, you got to get here, man. You got to get here quick. My head's bleeding because the gate in the front of the store just bonked me in the head and I'm bleeding. Oh my God, get out of there. I'll be right there. All right, great. Where do I go? There was an emergency, urgent care Kaiser that I went to that was right nearby. Luckily, I put enough pressure on it that it wasn't completely pouring out of my head at this point. But I was freaking out because this is fresh red blood and it ain't stopping. Ah! Get into urgent care, right? I'm they're just go. I can't think about the store at this point because my homeboy manager is coming in to save the day because and he's laughing because he called me. He's like, oh my God, you're bleeding like crazy. It looked appropriate for a Halloween store. It looked great. He wishes he could have kept it for the effect. But... And of course, in a workman's comp sense, they just, stitched me up with a couple staples and, made sure I was not bleeding. I don't remember them cauterizing. I definitely think they just put a needle in it and made sure it was clean and put a couple staples up there. And man, what a way to scare your boss. Funny enough, I didn't have to pay a dime. I didn't pay for any urgent care. I gave him the number for Halloween Adventures and said, this happened at work. There's proof and evidence. There's blood all over the place. Didn't have to pay a dime for that. And, didn't have to work that day, obviously. They wanted to make sure I didn't have a concussion. Made sure to give me all the proper, you just got hit in the head really hard. Whoa, that was rough. Yeah, finished out the job. That was it. There was just this scar in my head and the back of my skull now. I now know how it feels to get hit really hard with a piece of metal in the back of my head. That was no fun. And yeah, I just kind of worked until there was obviously no more work. Place had to get packed up. There wasn't a lot left. There were some things left, but it wasn't overbearing. We had to box it all up, try to put it all in some sort of neat piles. I wasn't in charge of cleaning up the entire place. It was just more of a matter of getting the stock off the shelves and putting the little, metal hooks and things in a box. And that was kind of it. I didn't have to do any moving. I didn't have to do any truck loading or anything. It was just kind of like, hey, just put all the stuff that's left here, put all the returns over here, or the damaged product over here. You're good. There's no compensation package afterwards. There was no unemployment. It was like, thanks for doing a great job. Maybe see you next year. Not seeing you next year. I do remember one thing too. I remember getting a really cheap Costco deal because for whatever reason, obviously the Costco in the area, the salesman came over and said, hey, you guys have a bunch of employees. Maybe you all should get Costco. I can give you Costco memberships for like $15 if 4 of you sign up or something. It was really cheap. I think it was $15 or $25 if 4 of us or 6 of us signed up for a Costco membership. And I think to this day, I think my Costco card still says Halloween Adventures because no one in 11 years, no one in Costco has asked me if I still work there. And I've never gone and changed. So thank you, Costco, for my corporate card that still says Halloween Adventures. I don't even know if they're still in business, to be honest. Yeah, that was an adventure. But I knew the writing was on the wall because here we go. I'm out of a job again. What am I doing? We'll find out on Monday. Of course, it was a easy peasy lemon squeezy kind of episode. We were doing it. Thank you all for joining in once again on this lovely Friday the 13th. Hope you are all well. Stay safe. Thank you to my 11 listeners, of course, for coming back here on the Podbean Network, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, and all of the available podcast arenas as well here on YouTube. My 11 listeners, you are welcome here. Thank you again for joining us. If you are new, please subscribe, please like, please comment, please share, please DM me. Have a conversation. Oh man, I worked at a Halloween store too. Oh, it was the worst. It was the best. I don't know. I had a great time, but it wasn't the best of times. It was a temporary fix to a bigger problem, my dears, and I hope to hear you Monday because this is where it's again the snowball is going down the hill, and there ain't no stopping it just yet. Thank you all again for listening. As I say every week, I'll say it again. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your sister, tell your brother, tell everyone. You've been listening to New Job. Who dis?